Hello viewers, sorry about the mess in the background. I am completely trying to redo my room, so I'm cleaning it. So sorry about that. Disregard, but welcome back. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Self-Made CEO podcast. I am your host, Adrienne Finch. Hello, how are you all doing? I am so excited. It's already episode 2. I know that's only 2 episodes, but you guys, I'm pumped. This episode is going to be a fun one for me. Today's episode is all about goal setting, okay? And goal setting is actually one of my favorite topics, to be honest. I love creating a goal and working towards it. It's always so exciting to see that progress and to just have fun working towards something you want or something you want to accomplish and achieve. I love goal setting. So this is a very, very exciting episode for me. But of course, goal setting can also be really frustrating when maybe you don't see the progress or you don't hit your goal. It sucks. But today we're going to change that. I'm going to show you exactly how to properly set goals so that you can achieve them 100% of the time. So it's going to be awesome. I'm giving you a lot of action items here. So first, we're going to talk about why do we often fail at achieving our goals? Why? How many times have you made a New Year's resolution and not followed through with it? I know I have, but it seems silly, doesn't it? Like you're beating yourself up for not achieving a goal that you set for yourself. I laugh when I think about that. Like, hello, I set this goal and then I didn't achieve it and now I'm mad. And now I feel like a failure. It's silly. It shouldn't be the case. And we're going to fix it. So first we're talking about that. Why do we often fail at achieving goals? Why are we pretty much setting ourselves up to fail when we do create goals? Next, I'm going to show you guys a new way to look at goal setting. So we're actually going to redefine what a goal is, if you will, which will lead us into part 3. I'm kind of breaking up this episode into 3 sections. So it will lead us into my 5-step process for setting goals that will allow you to succeed and achieve them every single time. I have been using it this year. So far, so good. It really is life-changing when you start to think about goals differently than you are now. And it will lead to achieving more of them, which will lead to more happiness and more success. So again, we're going to break down today's episode into 3 parts. Number 1, why do we often fail at achieving our goals? Number 2, let's redefine goals and goal setting. Let's have this new way to look at goal setting. And number 3, my 5-step process for goal setting that will allow you to succeed 100% of the time. Sounds pretty awesome. And it's pretty easy. It's actually very simple. So thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. Let's get right into it. So why do we fail at achieving goals that we set for ourselves? Oh, let's think about this. So what do you do when you create goals? I know what I do is, what I used to do is I would sit down at my computer. And I pretty much would list everything that I want to have or everything that I want to achieve in the year. Now, of course, you can set different time frames. You don't need to do yearly goals. You can do monthly or weekly, but I'm just going to give that example because I definitely set New Year's resolutions often. So I would always write a list. I'd say, all right, by the end of this year, what do I want to have accomplished? What do I want? How much money do I want to make? Do I want to start a new YouTube channel? What do I want? Do I want to create a new business? Do I want to be down 30 pounds? That wasn't a real goal. What do you do when you create goals? What does that process look like? What I would find year after year after year is that I wouldn't hit my goals. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't hit them. There were some that I might hit. There were others that I wouldn't. But at the end of the year, I would look back at that goal sheet and I'd say, man, I really didn't hit a lot of these. I also would look back at the goal sheet and realize, wow, I kind of forgot what I had even set for myself. Okay, hold on. Red flag number 1. If you don't even remember the goals you set, of course you're not going to achieve them. You don't even know what you want. And I've talked about this several times in my life and I will continue to going forward. But the first step to having success and achieving your goals is knowing, what do you want? What do you desire if you could have anything in the whole world? It's fun to think about. It actually is very, very fun. Just imagine for a second, put yourself in that space. What do I want? So why is this happening? Why is it that so many times we're not achieving these goals that we're setting? Well, most of the time, and like I used to do, we blindly set goals. And what I mean by that is that we set an end result that we want. So literally, if you look up the definition of a goal, it says the object of a person's ambition or effort, an aim or desired result. So a desired result. So when we're setting these goals, we are thinking of the end result. We're thinking, what do we want when this is all said and done? What is that goal? What is that end, that finish line? So we're usually making an outcome or an achievement or a dollar figure, whatever it is, our goal. Now, there's a huge problem here, and I never realized it until recently. What we're failing to do is thinking about and breaking down the process of actually getting to that finish line. What does that action plan look like? What does it take to achieve that goal? You can write that goal down, you can visualize it, you can have a vision board, you can try to manifest it, but no goal is achievable without action, without inspired action. So when we're making our goals and we're creating all these goals that are end results or dollar figures or, desired outcomes, we're completely neglecting the process that it takes to get there, which seems silly, right? Just saying it out loud now, you're like, oh my gosh, yeah, totally neglecting that. It totally makes sense. Of course we fail. And then we beat ourselves up for failing when we were the one who set the goal to begin with. And we didn't even think about, well, what do I need to do to get this goal? So let's give an example. Let's really put some context here, okay? You might say, all right, my goal is to cook dinner at home 5 nights this week. Simple, right? Well, great. Okay, great goal. Cook dinner at home 5 nights. Great. Awesome. Well, can you achieve that goal if you don't go to the grocery store and buy groceries? No. Can you shop for groceries without figuring out what you actually need from the store? I mean, you can, but you might not end up making that good of a meal because you don't really even know what you need, right? So I can say that I want 1 million subscribers on YouTube, but how do I actually get there? Well, do I need more views on my videos? Okay, awesome. Well, how do I do that? Well, maybe I upload more frequently. Maybe I make better thumbnails. Maybe, well, what needs to happen for that to be possible? Do I need to hire a graphic designer? What do I actually need to do to get there? And it seems so simple, but time and time again, I've done this. I've seen others do this. We don't think about that plan. We don't think about the process that it takes to achieve that goal. So why do we fail? Well, we're neglecting the process and the action plan, and we're making our goals just an end result, just a desired outcome. Now, let me be clear about one thing. That's not to say that we shouldn't create our lists of desires, our vision boards, work on manifesting that, setting that intent. Of course, you absolutely should. Always should be visualizing and thinking about what are our desires? What are those end results and those outcomes that we want? So we absolutely should be thinking about those. But when it comes to making actual, achievable, tangible goals or resolutions for yourself or for your business, we're usually neglecting the actual action plan and process. And then we sit there at the end of the year baffled by how we didn't achieve our goal. Well, how do you achieve something if you don't plan out how you're going to achieve it? Simple, right? So that's step 1. That is phase 1 of this episode. Why do we fail? Well, we're not thinking about what we need to do to succeed. We're just writing down a goal. We're not taking any action. This leads me to part number 2, which is let's redefine what is a goal? What should a goal be? How do we redefine what setting goals is for us, for you individually? Everyone's going to have different goals, but what is a goal? So the first thing that's really, really, really important to always remember is that our goals do not define us, okay? If you don't make $1 million by July 15th, 2020 at 11:30 p.m. Eastern time, it doesn't mean you're a failure. It doesn't mean you suck and you can never be rich. You'll never deserve to be rich. No. So right now, first and foremost, let's remind ourselves, you are the only one in control of the meaning that you assign different things that happen. So all we need to do right now is to choose to stop letting our goals, whether we do or don't achieve them, define us. That is step 1, just because there are going to be times that you maybe don't reach a deadline or a mark that you wanted to, and that is life, and that is okay. We need to not let that define us. That does not mean you are terrible, you suck. No, of course it doesn't, and you know it doesn't, especially because you're the one who set the goal to begin with. And secondly, I already somewhat touched on this, but we need to understand that no goal is possible without action. It's just true. It's simple and true. No goal is possible without action. And this action is inspired action based on, both manifestation and intention, really putting your intent out there saying, hey, I'm going to achieve this goal. And I'm going to take every little action step I need to take in order to achieve this goal. And you break it down into smaller parts. It's kind of like, that's like, I feel like 101, how to not procrastinate, how to get something done. You always break things down that are big into smaller pieces, smaller, digestible, easily achievable pieces. I'm a huge fan of that, actually. In my life, I try to do that as often as possible, break down big things into smaller, less intimidating things. So we can do that here, right? So if you make every step of your action plan your goals, rather than the end result, then you'll be led right to that end result, and you will have accomplished so many smaller goals along the way. And remember, a lot of this is mental too, okay? Like whenever I make a to-do list for the day, I put things as simple as eat breakfast, take a shower, brush your teeth, because I like the feeling of crossing those off the list, all right? It's silly, it's funny, but it's true. When I'm crossing off all these things off the list, I feel a sense of accomplishment right away, just from showering. I feel a sense of accomplishment. I feel this positive energy. It really helps me set my day in motion, and it helps me to cross off more things on the list because each thing is not so tedious. It's a small item and you cross it off, a small item, you cross it off. Instead of, let's say I just put edit video, that might take 6 hours and I'm not crossing anything off, so it's kind of about how you word that. So I like to do that with my to-do list, is just break down into small items and cross things off. I love it. I love crossing things off. So why can't we do that with our goal setting? Why can't we take the action plan that's necessary in order to achieve that goal and break it down into smaller bits and cross off all these bits? So how you're going to do this is you're going to ask yourself how you need to show up every single day. So for you to achieve this goal, how do you need to show up today? What do you need to do today? What do you need to do this hour? What do you need to do this week? What do you need to do this month, 6 months, year, whatever it is? And by the way, I'm a big fan of the 30, 60, 90 plans and scheduling, and I'll definitely get into that in future episodes of like how do I really break down my goals into time frames, but that's a whole nother topic. So when you're setting these goals and you're creating this plan, ask yourself, what do I need to do? How do I need to show up and be there and really be taking this action every single day? And that will help right off the bat. So we've now redefined a goal, okay? It's no longer this desired outcome. It is the process. It is every single step of the process that leads you to that outcome. Each one of those are goals. Each one of those can be easily achieved and crossed off, and it'll lead you to that end result. So we've gotten through that. Now comes the fun part, phase 3 of this episode, which is how are we going to correctly set and achieve goals? Now, this is actually a very fun process, very fun. I enjoyed doing this a lot. I did this for 2019, like for my New Year's resolutions. I did them a little late. I know it's the middle of the year, you guys, but it is never ever too late, or it's never a bad time to start setting new goals. So I highly recommend trying this process out. It's really, really fun. So I'm going to spell it out for you, and it may even help to write this down. I wrote this all down when I was doing it, and you don't need to do it right now. You can pause this and think about it, or write down the steps. I'll put the steps in the show notes so that you guys can kind of refer back. But I did a little boot camp by one of my favorite entrepreneurs. She is called Manifestation Babe. She has a podcast. She has a website, all these programs. Her name is Catherine Zenkina. She's awesome. I love her. So I actually signed up for one of her 3-day boot camps, and it was all about goal setting for 2019. How do we set goals properly? And it was absolutely life-changing. I mean, it seriously changed the way that I set my goals, and I have been achieving my goals left and right because of it. So I'm going to spell this out for you. By the way, I said 5-step plan. I actually don't think it's 5 steps. I don't actually know how many steps it is. We're about to find out. Here's what you're going to do first. The very first step is you're going to choose 3 areas in your life that need the most improvement. So this can be anything, but the categories that Catherine's bootcamp laid out for me were love and relationships, finance and wealth, career, health and fitness, self-improvement, and then friendships and social life. So those are the categories. So if it helps you, you can rank how you're doing, how you're feeling in each of those categories on a scale of 1 to 10. So I'm actually going to reference my little list and see what I said. So I ranked my lowest categories as finance and wealth, love life and romance, and career and business. And by the way, that doesn't mean that I'm like sucking in those categories. It's kind of like those are the categories that I want to improve the most, that I want to continue to grow, that I care more about than the other ones. So write down the 3 categories that you chose. Write down what those are. I chose finance and wealth, career and business, and health and fitness. Then what we're going to do is we're going to make a list of your goals in each of those categories. So this list has no limits, okay? Write anything and everything that you want to achieve in that category. So, for example, I'm not going to read you my whole list because that's boring, but just as a couple examples, I wrote under my finance and wealth column, I said, I want to invest in stocks. I want to get a financial advisor. I want to make $200,000 in online revenue in 12 months. So those are just examples, okay, of these goals. So make a list of your goals for each of those categories that you chose. Anything. It can be anything. But also make it like if your time frame is 1 year, make that achievable in a year. Don't say, oh, I want to make $50 million in 1 year. Like, I mean, hey, if you think you can achieve that, great. I'm not going to stop you, but you know what I'm saying. Like, let's set ourselves up for success here. Let's be slightly reasonable. And even my 200,000 online revenue, I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot. And right now that number seems crazy, but it isn't crazy and it might not be crazy. And I'm going to spell out, the steps that I need to take in order to get there. So after you've created this list of all these goals that you have, it's time that we identify our domino goals. So what a domino goal is, you may have heard this term before. I'm not sure. Maybe Catherine Zenkina made it up. I don't know, but I love this term, okay? So what a domino goal is it's a goal that already implies achieving some of the other goals. So for example, let's say one of your goals is to lose 20 pounds. Let's say another one is to go to the gym 5 times a week. And let's say another one is to have a consultation with a personal trainer. The domino goal in that would be the losing 50 pounds, because if you lose 50 pounds, you're probably going to the gym 5 times a week or, something close to that. If you're losing 50 pounds, you also may have had a consultation with a personal trainer who showed you what to do at the gym. So by achieving the not 50 pounds, I meant 20. That's a lot. I mean, maybe it's 50. My apologies. I meant 20, whatever I said. The losing 20 pounds goal is your domino goal, because in achieving that, you are achieving the other goals as well, because you probably need the other goals to happen in order to achieve that. So try to identify what your domino goals are. Let me just, for example, see what mine is. So my domino goal was the earning $200,000 in revenue from my online business. Because if I earn that much revenue, it probably means that a lot of my other goals on this list have happened. Like I think one of them was earn $10,000 a month or something. So, of course, if we do that math, like I will have earned $10,000 a month. Another one was having a savings of a certain amount. So that's my domino goal. So identify the domino goals on this list. And it's okay if you have more than one. But the next step is very, very important. We often just set too many goals. And I understand why. We want to achieve a lot. We want to do a lot. We are ambitious. As human beings, we are wired to want more and to do more and achieve more. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when you hyper focus on just a few things, you will be so much more successful. And that's something I'm working on, is not spreading myself so thin, really, really hyper focusing on just a couple things. So we are only going to choose 3 goals. And you might think that's crazy, but trust me, this works. And remember, if they're domino goals, they're also affecting a lot of the other goals you had underneath. So you're hitting way more than that, but you're choosing your 3 top goals, and it's going to be one from each of those categories. So set your 3 goals and make the goal be about the action plan. We're going to work backwards. It's pretty simple. So you've achieved this goal. What did it take to get there? What will it take to get there? Break it down. And remember, work backwards. So break it down. It does help to write it down. I like to write it down, and then it's all there. This is what you figure out. Every day, what steps do you need to take to achieve this goal? So literally start at the back. This is what I do. I start at the goal, end of the goal, let's say for the year, because I like to do mine yearly. So for 2019, I'll take the goal that I have for December 31st, the end of the year. And remember, don't be hard on yourself. If you hit it early, if you hit it late, don't be hard on yourself. So I'll work backwards. I'll say, okay, well, what do I need to have achieved in the first half of the year? Okay, well, what do I need to achieve each month of the first half of the year? What do I need to achieve in the next month, in the next 30 days? What do I need to achieve in order to hit that goal? What do I need to achieve in the next 2 weeks? What do I need to achieve this week? What do I need to do today? What do I need to do this morning? You can break it down as small as you possibly can. Because remember, each time we hit that, each time we cross something off that list, we're just giving ourselves more and more momentum. We are just pushing forward. We are feeling good. We're feeling optimistic and positive, and we're accomplishing things along the way. It's awesome. It's actually awesome. Each step of that plan is your goal. So what do you need to do every day? What steps do you need to take to achieve these 3 goals? This way, at the end of every day, you've hit goals no matter what. And you feel successful and you feel happy, and you will manifest your bigger goals quicker than expected. That is literally all you do. I'm not kidding. That is it. And it works like a charm. And you have to want it. You have to commit, of course. But it's very, very simple. It's really quite simple. This is not rocket science. This is just shifting our mindset. And we're doing a lot of things on this podcast around shifting our mindset, because you will learn that your own mind is a very, very, very powerful tool. Very powerful. And when we shift our mindset on certain aspects of life or business or relationships, it's life-changing. It's absolutely life-changing. So we can take this, something as simple as shifting and redefining goals from an end result, a desired outcome, to each step of the process to get there. You are way more likely to set yourself up for success than failure. Okay? So to wrap things up, you guys, and I love this episode because I love that there is an actionable takeaway. I really love that some of these episodes, you can step right away from this and do something. You can do something today that will make you happy, that will help you succeed, that'll help you achieve something. Anything. Remember, anything that you want in the world, it's achievable. So we're just shifting our mindset. We're redefining what a goal is. It's really that simple. So to recap, we talked about, why do we often fail at achieving goals? Well, we're neglecting the process it takes to get there. No goal is achievable without an action plan. And we're redefining what a goal is and what goal setting is. We're redefining it as every step of the way is a goal that you're hitting, versus just thinking about the end result, completely forgetting about the process, completely forgetting what your goal even is until the end of the year, and then looking at it, realizing you didn't hit it, and getting upset. And then we talked about how to correctly set and achieve goals. So we talked about choosing the 3 areas in your life that feel the lowest or feel like you need the most improvement. Making a list of every goal that you have in that category, and then identifying your domino goals, which ones by achieving them are also achieving other goals on your list. And you're choosing one from each category. And those 3 goals are your goals. And you're making an action plan. How do you get there? Working backwards. And once you do that, you guys, I promise you, you'll feel great. You will feel great. You will achieve things every single day. You will have a focus too. Your brain will identify and visualize and focus on those 3 things. And you'll have a purpose in doing everything you're doing. The action is inspired. It's not just taking random action hoping you're going to get there. It's having a plan. It's having a plan that makes sense, that has a time frame, that's achievable, that's actually achievable. So that's what I hope that you guys go try and do. I've done this, and honestly, I love it. I'm definitely super into goals though. Like, you have to want to achieve goals, of course, but hopefully everyone who's listening to this has goals they want to achieve. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please let me know. Let me know in the iTunes reviews. Let me know on Instagram. Remember, my handle is @AdrienneFinch, or you can always follow and message me on @theselfmadeceo on Instagram. I really want your guys' feedback. Like I said in episode 1, this is for you. This podcast is about you. I want to empower you guys to know and realize that you can achieve anything in life that you want, anything you put your mind to, you can achieve. And I want to just help empower you. We're all human. We all struggle. We all go through things. And I'm not perfect. I'm certainly not perfect. But if I can even impact one of your lives, if I can, take lessons I've learned in business or I've learned with, failing at my own goals and impart that onto you guys, then I've succeeded. So thank you so much for listening. Can't wait to see you in the next, I keep saying see you in the next episode. I won't see you physically, but I'll be there with you, whether it's in the car or at home or you're making dinner. I can't wait. Can't wait for the next episode. Remember to subscribe on iTunes. You can check this out on Spotify, wherever it is that you're listening to podcasts. I will catch you next time. Bye.